Hey YouTube, good evening. Am I the only one that's noticed that an awful lot of these people who were sent bombs today in the last couple of days are black? No one seems to want to address that. They're just saying there's Democrats. It's Democrats. But black people is only 12% of this country. And the percentages are even less in government as far as how many black people are in government, what the percentages is. How in the hell are they 60% of the individuals who singled out these bombs? This person is definitely racist. Yep, you have to be. Since we're all assuming they're not working directly for Trump. So it's just got to be somebody who agrees with much of his rhetoric. He probably considers himself a nationalist also. But out of all of the politicians, all the Democrats, 400 something of them in Congress and the Senate, all of these people that are in government, who they could target, even just on the Democratic side, they pick pretty much, well, about 60%. Don't count it to my intellect, the percentages, but about 60%, I think, of the individuals that were targeted were black. They're black people. Even targeted Maxine Waters. Our sweet old Maxine. Our Aunt Maxine, they sent 2 bombs to her. One to her home and one to her office. I guess she has an office in her hometown, and then I believe the other one is it in Washington? Wherever. Where they are doesn't really make a difference. They sent 2 to Maxine Waters. They sent 1 to Eric Holder. They blamed it all on another black woman, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, which we all know that they didn't come from her house. But why of all the people to choose, now we already know that Donald Trump hates CNN. Therefore, his supporters, his ardent supporters, they probably all hate CNN. They chant whenever their names is mentioned in a disparaging way. We already know that, so that would explain that one bomb. We already know that that Trump is late. Forgive me. Trump hates the guy, John Brennan, because the guy is very critical of Trump's actions. They don't even give a damn about the actions. What concerns them is that the guy talks about them. You're not supposed to speak. You're not supposed to say the building's on fire. Right? That would explain why they targeted him. Of course, Hillary Clinton, his arch nemesis, which doesn't make any sense because he won the damn race. He won the race, which she won the votes, but he won the race by figuring out how to win it without winning the popular vote. Credit him. They figured that out. They targeted the people they needed to target. That would exclude them. Other than that, everybody else is black. This guy has got a problem with black people. It's probably why he ties in with Trump. Now, on the subject of Mr. Trump, I am not impressed by this prepared statement that he went up there and read. Well, I'm impressed that he could read it, the teleprompter. That part's impressive for Trump. But as far as what was in it, he didn't write that. They told him to get out there and say that. Remember how mad he got when they gave him a prepared statement about Charlottesville, and he veered from it because he didn't feel he should have said those things. Oh, I want to take it back. Say how I really feel. So this is what happens. You're talking to millions of people, millions of angry people who you pump their anger, and you're amazed when there's a nut in that crowd. There's a nut in a crowd of 100 people, probably. This dude is blanketing the whole United States with all of this rhetoric and this bullshit of his and this racism of his blatant, obvious racism. How are you going to come and say you are a nationalist? Are you white, Donald Trump? You're white, and now you're declaring that you're a nationalist. So what is that? White nationalist, correct? If I'm black and I'm a nationalist, would that make me a black nationalist? This has become so sad you can't even laugh anymore. I mean, does anybody even remember all the things that Trump did wrong last week? No, of course not, because he's done so much since then. So much since then, every week. Any other president, we would be talking about just one of these incidents of his ignorance and his bigotry, racist views. Just one time. With him, is every week. And I think that this person may not work for Trump, but they are certainly taking a cue from his card. Because everybody Trump hates, he hates. I don't think these bombs were intended to go off. I'll just say that. It's still terrorism. It's to stroke fear in people. Scare the hell out of people, right? And it's very dangerous. So whoever he is, they ain't quite got it together. Because anybody could have mishandled one of those packages. Anybody in the mailroom could have just dropped a box. Have you seen the way some of these carriers, particularly if a box is not marked extremely fragile, the way they throw those things in and out of trucks? Anything could have happened. They could have left by windows. It was too hot. New York City is hot. And set the damn thing off. They could have killed people. But I don't think that was their intention. Their intention was to stroke fear. They're terrorists. They're domestic terrorists and dangerous. So how? Because they would have to top this, right? If this is, I mean, obviously, they're going to get caught at some point. They know that. Okay. I got to switch over now. This person is either very crazy or a combination of things, but he's also extremely arrogant. Just like his leader, Trump. How arrogant to think you can send all of these packages all around the United States and not one fiber, not one hair will fall from your head, not one finger. I don't know if you work, I'm sure you work with gloves, but not one time will you take that glove off. Not one time in all of these bombs, what is it, 7, 8 of them? Not one time will you touch anything on there. Not one bit of your saliva would have touched the stamp. I mean, you ain't gonna be all that smart to know how can we use a rag to wipe the stuff on there. But you're exposing yourself to all, because the bomb is not gonna blow up. Usually bombs blow up, so the evidence is lost in most of them. They gotta take little pieces of metal and try to get evidence from these little pieces of metal. Well, if it doesn't blow up, all the evidence is there. So this person has got to be very deranged and extremely arrogant to believe he would get away with such a thing. There's no way. It's easy to track where the packages were mailed, where it came from. I'm sure CNN, come on. You think they ain't got cameras around CNN to see who's not delivering these packages? They said some came through the mail and some were hand delivered. Hand delivered, you're going down first. That's with the FBI, CIA. You think they don't know how to enhance the picture and find some clue on you? Some clue on your vehicle? Something somewhere? You got the whole country now on that ass. Let's hope you don't get away and do something worse. Yeah, escalate, right? Anyway, I just think it's strange. Maybe the people do not want to look at it as a race issue, but I cannot help but notice that most of these politicians, in particular, they're black. Food for thought, people. Oh, I'm missing Empire. Damn.